Hello and welcome to the Mikhalchuk Music Studio. Today in this short film, which will be titled Music is the Universal Language of Mankind, I would like to discuss and share with you my thoughts and the process itself of creation the piece The Unity March, which was released on the 15th of August this year and is available in all online music shops worldwide. So the idea of creating this track came to my mind more than a year ago, in November 2024, end of November. And I was beyond grateful when such a great musician as David Longoria, who won Grammy Award last year, trumpeter, the great trumpeter, and he supported my idea, so we decided to collaborate and create a project between Russia and the United States. And so that's how it started a year ago. And the idea of this track, which had to be a totally new music, new composition, was to make it as positive, as powerful in a way as possible, so that could make a kind of the positive strike to everyone who will listen, and also hopefully could make everyone's mood a bit better and the world a better place in the end. as I said, more than a year ago, we decided to create this piece. And the only thing which we had to do was to compose it, really, because it had to be a new piece, totally new composition. And the inspiration for this piece, which also came to my mind in terms of the structure of the piece itself, was the Rachmaninoff, the great Russian composer Sergei Rachmaninoff's Prelude in G minor, Opus 23, number 5. So we decided to structure the piece almost the same as Sergei Rachmaninoff's piece was structured. It also has 3 parts in it, and it also has an amazing, wonderful middle section, the lyrical section. And so that's how I decided to make it as an example. And also, of course, it is march. So we have the unity march, trumpet and piano, and Rachmaninoff's Prelude number 5 is, in my opinion, one of the best examples of march itself. So that was my rather short explanation of how the Unity March was created. I sincerely hope you like, you enjoy. our project. And of course, in the description below, I'll attach not only the Unity March, but of course, Rachmaninoff's Prelude number 5, which I actually recorded many times in the past. And I'll attach my recording from an album from 2021. Hope you like it. And yes, so the whole idea behind the creation of the Unity March was, as I said a few times already, to give a strong message to the world via one of the strongest, I think, types of art, which is music. And music, in our case, is an instrumental music, so it has no words. Better than anything else, unite people from different countries when it's needed most. And I think nowadays that's such kind of time. It happened in the past, it's happening now, maybe different way, but still it's happening now. So hopefully music can show us that the things which unite us are always stronger than things which can separate us. So hope you enjoyed this video and hope you enjoyed the Unity March. Well, like I have explained in the introduction to this film, that the main purpose in general was just bringing people light through music, and in particular to encourage and inspire unity between people of the world. So that was the number one thought when making the track, when recording it. And I sincerely hope that we managed to project, like my piano teacher used to say, to project this idea through music. And of course, I believe that there are many compositions in classical music, and not only in classical music, which also have this aim of uniting people, of bringing people together through the power of music and through the power of art in general. But in our track, we just tried, like I also explained a little bit in the introduction, we tried to make it as major, as positive as we could. So the idea, hopefully, strikes in the strongest way possible. And yes, hopefully it's really easy to feel it. But speaking also about not only the music itself, but after all, us as the performers of it, as composers and the performers, yes, so the purpose was encouraging and inspiring to unite people from different countries of the world, and from the United States and Russia in particular. But us as a performers also, we tried to show as a example of unity itself, because Mr. David Longoria lives in the United States, in Los Angeles, and I live here in St. Petersburg, Russia. So our collaboration itself, I hope, is a good example of bringing people together through the power of music. And yes, the music itself, the track itself, the sound of it, hopefully, yes, can encourage unity. So I tried to give quite a long answer on this question, and after all, it's all about the feeling. So I hope when you listen to this track, you just feel it, you feel the emotion, the energy we tried to put in it. But yes, us as a creators of it, we tried our best to show a good example of people, of musicians who try to create something together against all odds, against problems and some misunderstandings sometimes between our countries, but we try to do our best. And I was very happy that the track was released also on the 15th of August, which is quite a symbolic day, I think. So this year, I mean, 15th of August 2025. Yes, and hopefully just the beginning. And in the future, things will turn to the positivity in general, and I really hope our track can help it even a bit. That's a very interesting question, and I think it's not often asked to the classical musician, because usually like sportsmen, actors, they discuss such topic as definition of success, or nowadays some bloggers and performers, yeah, but not in the classical music. But I think the overall the definition of success, being serious, I want to say that it's about, in my opinion, it's about reaching your full potential without compromising your values. I think the great boxer Muhammad Ali said this thing, and I'm sure he was right, because success can be different, and some people think they reach success. What is a success? Becoming rich and famous, usually people think, but after all, success is about happiness, is about giving something good, I think, to people around. Of course, first of all, to your closest ones, to your family and friends, and then to people in general, to the world. And for the musicians, I think that's very important to never forget this, that success is given. Success is giving music to the audience, or listeners, or audience, I mean, during the live performance, and listeners in general, when it's a release which people can listen to. And it's very also important also the message which musician gives through his playing and through his, well, image, I think, overall. And I always thought about it a lot, and I carefully kind of analyzed so-called successful people while growing up and while studying, and recently too. And of course, I want to reach my success a lot, and I think I'm only on a tiny way, I mean, quite far away from it. But yes, as I said, for me, important is not only becoming financially stable and famous or whatever, but about being accepted by the people, giving something good to the people. And I try to do this when I teach, and I recently teach quite a lot. I have students, and also, of course, when I record, when I play, and I'm sure that Mr. David Longoria is doing the same, just on a much greater level than I'm trying to do it, because he's an extremely established and very famous musician in the United States, and I'm very grateful that we worked with him, because he is doing so much positive impact. I hope I said it in the right way, through music. So and it's important, because some artists, they don't do it. Unfortunately, there are many performers nowadays, in my opinion, who do not give a positive message to the people. They do not influence young generation in a good way, in the right way, and that's quite a bad thing, in my opinion. And I sincerely hope that it can be changed, and the classical music can change it a lot, because classical music is much more pure itself as a form of art than, let's say, some pop music or something. I don't know. But yes, so overall, I just believe that success is, of course, about becoming quite good established person, musician in the world, but not at any price, I think, but by doing something good. That's my opinion about it. Well, that's the question which is very close to something what I said in just minutes ago. Yes, I sincerely believe that classical music can influence people in the best way possible. And like I said a bit earlier, that this form of art, this classical music, is very pure. It brings people just pure emotions, I think, and in the same time, I'm sure that it just can help people become better, wiser, and happier, more educated, just by listening to it. I'm sure many people know the stories that when like babies are born, and if they listen Mozart when they're like 1 or 2, even if their family is far away from classical music world, but Mozart music has a a great influence on kids. I mean, and it's something in it that shows how important the classical music can be. I mean, it's just a little bit funny example, of course, what I just said, but overall, I'm sure that classical music can really, really inspire people to be better, to become better, to think deeper. That's very important, I think, to think deeper, because some forms of music, like especially nowadays, I mean, there are such types of genres. I don't know, I don't really listen much to modern music. I mean, I love like rock music and rap music, pop music, but that's from like 2000s, not nowadays really, because something went wrong, in my opinion, in these genres overall. But talking about classical music, it can save the world now, I think, because it's so different to what's going on in many other genres of music, of art. So if it is promoted enough, if it is promoted in a good way, because also any type of art and classical music as well can be promoted, well, it's all subjective, of course, I'm just sharing my opinion, but I think it can be promoted in a rather wrong way when it is presented without enough deepness in it, when it is presented as a kind of show-off performances or something without enough deepness, like I trying to say. So what I mean by deepness? Deepness is something about maybe so-called old school in not only piano playing, but in general, in any kind of arts. Nowadays, I think there is a lack of this old school approach when the person would really be willing to give it all when he plays, when he records, when he just appears in front of people. That's something which is a little bit missing nowadays, I think. Everything is becoming slightly, I don't want to say fake, but just without enough soul, maybe, in it. And so, yeah, just in my opinion, classical music is not just because I'm doing it, so I'm trying to say this kind of music should save the world. No, it just has this purity in it. It very often has no words, so just the sound. If you take Rachmaninoff pieces or Beethoven symphonies, it just is the sound, but the sound of it can really influence the human being in a very good way, I think. And performers, in my opinion, they just can relate more to this old school of being a musician. I can say it maybe this way, because I'm happy and although don't want to say lucky, but lucky in a way, yes, to have studied with amazing teachers who presented this very old school approach to not just piano playing, but to thinking about it, to being a musician on stage and out of stage. And so I try to promote this. I try to promote, of course, what I do, and I hope that if classical music in this old school way, what is the definition of old school way in like just classical piano music, let's say, so you understand? Rachmaninoff, in my opinion, him as a person, him as a performer, that's old school, and how much deepness he had in his music and in his recordings. It's possible to hear it. So that's something which got to be, I think, popular again. Because another way, people will just stop thinking enough and they'll just listen to anything. But it's important to make people think and to make them analyze, to try and give them this deepness, yes, of what is classical music about. So that is why, of course, I think it should be promoted as much as possible. Well, yeah, it's interesting, quite a short question, but logical from what I said in my previous reply. Well, everything I do really are the steps to those goals of promoting classical music and of bringing back so-called old school approach in piano playing and in general. But talking more precisely about it, it's interesting how it all started in my head, really, that when I was 18 years old, I remember, back then I already thought that it would be so amazing to for a Russian pianist, for a person who lives in Russia, in St. Petersburg, to be somehow recognized in the United States, to be honest. That was my dream when I was already 18, and that's this reply which I'm now discussing is to the world unity. So this idea, really, it was back then already in my head. I don't know how it came to my mind, but so that's how it all started. So I recorded my first album. That was quite easy to do it here, really, in the conservatory. Back then it was 2014, so I just prepared. I mean, I had the program ready at that time. I was finishing Central Music School, so I had the program ready, and I just managed to record it. Yes, so it was actually quite a good album. I think I listened back recently, and it's not bad at all, in my opinion. Now I played quite steady, and yeah, it was a good program there. So. And the big dream, was to submit it for the Grammy Awards. And it was quite a crazy dream, I know, for 18 years old, but that's how it all started. And I just thought that if I get nominated or something, that just would be amazing for Russian, as I said earlier, to be kind of recognized in the United States. So that could not only give me success, but also could bring this unity to the nations. But that was just a teenager dream, really. But how it started. And of course, I didn't win the nomination at that time, and I didn't win it for the other 12 years, which passed since that time. But I tried every year, and I tried to record. I mean, I didn't try. I recorded actually something every year. So, and then I was submitting it for the Grammy consideration, but I didn't win the nomination yet. I'm happy I was on the ballot, though, for last 3 years. And yeah, so that's the biggest step, I think, from the question. I mean, the biggest step what I personally tried to do for many years, and I still didn't reach it, though, but I hope I can do it eventually. So 12 years. But other steps, of course, because of course, I mean, the final goal is not the award. Final goal is, like I said in the previous previous reply, that is doing good through music, doing good for people, and just bringing back this approach that it influences people, music influences people in a good way, not in a bad way. So taking it as a final goal, of course, I try to just build up my so-called career in this sense. So I try to record certain pieces, and of course the Unity March is the strongest message I ever managed to give, and of course it just happened with the help of an amazing trumpeter, David Longoria, because he supported me. If he wouldn't support me, this idea would never really happen. So, I mean, I'm grateful to him. I'm very grateful to a colleague of mine who used to study together, Repa, who also was creating the track, and to Robert Eibach, the producer, who was producing the track in the studio there. So, I mean, without this crew, without the strong support from those people, that would not be possible. But yeah, this track is the strongest message I try to give, and it's the biggest step so far, I think, from me personally. The step to reaching this goal of making not just music, but making music which will do very good things to the world, uniting people, inspiring people, just making them happier. So that's the ultimate goal. But yes, as I said earlier, this 12 years wave of recording and submitting albums for the Grammy, that's my life really about it. But of course, the award is not the most important thing. But this process, I'm happy that I started it, and I'm happy that I didn't give up, and I'm happy that I'm keeping going, I mean, now. So this goal motivated me a lot to create more music, to record more music, and yeah. So that's the step, of course. But other steps, I mean, just sometimes I think it's not about just doing something, but sometimes it's important in terms of just I don't know, success or any steps to what I said about like giving music to people. But it's also about not doing some things. So I'm trying only to do things which are positive. I mean, which can present musician from the best side, which can, like I said, bring back this old school approach with the deepness and giving it all. And that's what I try to do. And I'm trying to avoid some things. So I'm, of course, I don't know, name those things, but sometimes you just, let's say, not playing some pieces. Like I had some kind of troubles when I studied in London, and I just felt that playing some piece of music was very important to the goal which I described, but playing some other pieces of music, although they all deserve attention, but it wasn't maybe right. And also the way to play them, it's important. So I try to avoid things which would kind of turn me away from this goal of bringing back the old school approach. And I'm happy that I managed to remain, let's say, strong against some maybe provocations and some kind of troubles. And I did have some crises in my playing after London education, unfortunately. So I try to keep this dream, and that's, I think, also kind of the step to the goal, because the step is not only just doing something like, let's say, recording or something, but the step to the goal is sometimes just not losing yourself. I think the step to the goal is just keeping yourself like you feel is right, and you feel you can give your best in this way, not in some other way. So that's very important to musicians, I think, to have the values and never to go against their values. And I think if it would become kind of popular again, this approach, that would be great. I mean, that would be great, and just this richness, this fullness of what music can give will be returned. And it would definitely influence the society itself, I'm sure, because people need it, students need it, people far away from classical music, they also need it, because if they don't have this, like an arch, I don't know how to describe it, they can kind of lose the real value of life. I mean, and that's why I think it's important to never give up, and if you believe your values are good, to fight against the bad ones and to carry on and carry on. And yeah, I'm just happy that I'm in the industry which can do such things, which can really hopefully change the world to the best. And after all, I really hope you enjoy our Unity March, because we gave it all there, and we tried to show all what I just said. So hope you like it.